So you want to be a dungeon master?
So, you want a dungeon master.
So you want to be a DM?
Name some feats, okay? Feats.
So you want to be a DM?
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin. This week, we're going to be battening the hatches, bolstering the defenses, and barricading the doors because it's Bastions, baby. In episode 103, we did part 1. Here's part 2. We're going to go over level 9 special facilities, and the possibilities are starting to look pretty swanky, gang. So let's jump into it. But first, Taylor, I understand we have a question in the email.
Yes.
From Patrick. Could you tell us a little bit about what Patrick has sent us an email in regards to, and if we can help?
Yeah, so Patrick is trying to introduce D&D, the concept of classes, to his friends, family, close loved ones, to try and get them into the D&D space, which is awesome. But he's wondering if there is a more narrative way to describe the classes as opposed to just going through a flowchart answering a bunch of questions. Like everybody's seen the flowchart of like picking a class where it's like, oh, you're presented with an enemy. Do you want to attack it with your hands or do you want to attack it from range? Do you want to cast spells? Do you want to do whatever? There's a flowchart, and then by the end it tells you what class it is. But Patrick is wondering if there's more of like a narrative way. Like I think he says something about a intro story in 4th edition that kind of helped guide players through that decision-making tree. But I don't know. So he's just looking for something like that other than just sitting down and trying to dump information on people.
Yeah, for sure. I know, because that's kind of, if Patrick didn't specify, like, I'm looking for a narrative way to do this as opposed to just flowcharts and questions,
right?
That would be my answer, would be like, well, there's some good flowcharts out there, and boy, we have questions, because I do think that there is some information that the party needs or the table needs. For example, I think even if you leave out like Artificer or Scion and Ill Rigger, like any like newish ones, not that the Artificer's that new, but you know what I mean? Like for 2024 purposes, it's relatively new. But just going through like the 12 main classes, I think you can give them some brief descriptions of each one, because often people will already latch onto them. Like when you tell people a bard gets their spellcaster, they get their magic through some form of performance, whether that be music or poetry or dance, it could be anything like that.
Yeah.
Then clerics, they get their magic through some sort of divine relationship. Usually it's a deity who belongs to that particular setting, but it technically could be something else. It's their belief system that is giving them these powers. Druids get their magic from nature. Sorcerers get their magic from their bloodline or from something deep within, or their heritage or ancestry. Warlocks get it through the partnership. Wizards get it through knowledge and learning. Like, you could just give them a brief description of each one.
It really doesn't take super long to go through all of them.
It absolutely doesn't. You don't need to go over every single, like, and then at level 7, you get this. It's like, you don't need to do that. Just the bare bones of what the class is at its core. And it really depends on how you flavor both that discussion and a potential for an intro story or some sort of level 0 story. Like 1-shot, 2-shot kind of situation.
Aren't there like,
it really depends on their experience level when it comes to different genres and mediums and stuff like that. Taylor and I were talking before we started recording, like, Taylor and I come from video game backgrounds, so we've experienced classes, whether it was like World of Warcraft or RuneScape or some shit like that,
Final
or even
Fantasy,
like a legend shooter like Overwatch or like Black Ops 3. I think Call of Duty did it at one point, where they had like this character. Yes, you can get the guns that every other character can get in this Call of Duty game, but this character, this legend, this hero gets a special little ability. And in Overwatch, similarly, like each character is different. They have a different primary fire, and a different ultimate ability and yada,
Right.
yada, yada. So it's starting to introduce those kind of ideas of like, oh, a sorcerer is inherently different than a wizard.
Mhm.
Can they cast some spells the same? Yeah, they can both cast Firebolt.
Right.
But the background of like why they're able to cast those spells is different.
Mhm.
Not to mention meta magic versus, I don't
Right.
know, something like arcane recovery and spell books is different
Right.
between the two. So it's a super interesting question, Patrick. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan
but
of this
so
one.
something else that we did talk about right before we started recording was these you called it a meat grinder game where basically you
Oh yeah.
have a squad, you make like a squad of level 0 characters and you play through a story, and whoever's left at the end, that becomes your level 1 because most of them are going to die to random low level shit, and it's going to be funny, it's going to be fun. But you will also, in the process of figuring out kind of what class you're looking for, but you're also going to find the characters that you're looking at, like the
Hmm.
actual character person, which I think
Yeah.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
I think there are a lot of ways to run a level 0 kind of thing where you pretty much across the board, everyone's stats are about a 10. I mean, you could switch
mhm,
it up and have everybody just roll straight up like a 3d6 for
right.
each stat, where it's like the best you're going to get is an 18, but that's like you're just rolling 3d6. There's no remove the one, there's no 4d6, drop the lowest. It's just
Yeah,
straight up 3d6. So the
3d6.
chances of
Yep.
getting an 18 are very rare. And then um, that way, because you have some people who are more naturally dexterous or strong or
Yeah.
Connie, whatever. And so like you could do it that way. And then really it's just I think my only worry is that like if you're starting everyone at level 0, no one has magic. Everybody is pretty much melee or ranged at that point.
Right.
It's like how
Right.
do you get to explore the magic? That's the
That's
hard
very
part
true.
about doing
Right.
this is you're trying to create a narrative one shot or a short thing
Hmm.
so that people can test out these abilities or test out something that would, by the end of it, help them discover which class makes the most sense for them, right?
Right.
Now, the difficulty is that even without Artificer or Scion or whatever, you're talking 12 classes. How
Hmm.
are you going to get them to try all 12 classes or experience a little bit of each of them unless you're kind of following a flowcharty kind of
Right.
thing of like,
Right.
what do you want to use more of? Magic, weapons, or a little bit of both? That because then you can break it down to like half casters like
Hmm.
paladins or eldritch knights or whatever.
Right.
And then you just kind of keep going from there. So it really is kind of like I genuinely do believe that it makes a little bit more sense.
I
This
need
is
to
how
try
I
to
would do it.
find this fourth
Is I
edition story thing to see
Yeah,
what
that
they're
would
talking
obviously
about.
be big, but I genuinely do believe that I would probably just end up having a session 0, discussing the 12 classes, what
Hmm.
makes each one unique from a background standpoint, not even getting into mechanics.
Yeah.
Maybe I would introduce one tiny mechanic of each class. For barbarians, it's rage. For bardics, it's inspiration. For clerics, it's channel divinities or
Hmm.
something like that. For druids, it's wild shape. For fighters, it's I don't know, just
Action
being
surge.
a bad action surge. For we could go through the whole
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But then I think I would genuinely be like, okay, based on that, let's have everybody choose like 3 classes that kind of speak to them.
Hmm.
That you're kind of like, just based on the little bit I've said so far, which 3 are like kind of speaking to you. And
Hmm.
then let's narrow it down from there. So I think when you're having an open dialogue, a back and forth conversation, especially when you start to give them the setting a little bit and stuff like that. And then I think, you know what? Do really short things. Not necessarily a
Hmm.
one shot, but not like a full ass campaign either.
Yeah.
Do like a quick 4-session thing.
Yeah. Grab a
That
module.
way, that way people can experience the class,
Hmm.
fill those shoes a little bit, and they can find out if they truly like it or not in a way that isn't like, well, if you don't like it, well, you're stuck with this character for however long.
Right.
I mean, you could do a longer campaign and then just allow the players to switch characters if and when they
I've done
find
that.
out that they don't like this class or something like that.
Yep.
But like, yeah, it's very interesting. I'm sure that there are absolutely TTRPGs designed around this type of concept of,
Right.
because in a later episode we're going to be talking about Morkborg, and Morkborg, the more that I'm reading it, the more that I'm like, oh, it's giving level 1 D&D, where like you're level 1,
Right.
the most you'll ever get to is like level 2 or 3, but that's it, and like,
Yeah.
it's very deadly, it's very low, like you're not that powerful. It's not a hero fantasy the way that D&D is. And a lot of these like level 0, low level stuff, it's kind of that, where you're not necessarily the big hero yet. It depends
Right.
on the setting, of course. You could make a setting where even a level 1 is a hero,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a great question.
Cool. Yeah. Lots to talk about. Patrick, if you have any more questions, and anybody else, if you have questions, don't forget to send us an email at SYWBADM@gmail.com.
Another incredible way to reach out to us is if you're a member of the Patreon gang. My goodness, we are checking those notifications all the freaking time. So check out the Patreon. Link is in the description. Not only are we paying attention to that a little bit more than anything else, but also it has so much interesting content on there for you guys, like the homebrew magic items that are available on there. Even just at the $2 a month level, the Wormling Gang Dragon level, there's so much cool stuff. The bonus action, extra podcast episodes. We talk about different homebrew that we're coming out with, such as the College of Surf Bard is coming out right
Hell
before
yeah.
Christmas. And it's just Jack Johnson and beach vibes and acoustic guitars, and just like, what if a bard was just chill as hell? And that's this one. And they're really, really fun and interesting. We've got a lot of interesting subclasses on the horizon because of a recent charity event that we did, and a lot of people donated. So I gotta make some kind of gutter punk fighter. I have to make a druid who turns into a unicorn. A couple other ones. I have to make some kind of horror bard, and Taylor's working on a water paladin and a astrology zodiac cleric. So we've got a lot in the works. So subscribe, check it out. It supports us a ton. It helps us continue to do what we're doing. So check out the Patreon. Link in the bio. And let's get into the meat of the episode.
Let's do it.
So today we're talking Bastions, right? We've talked Bastions before. We've gone over all the basics. We've gone over all the things, the special facilities. These are the ones that give you some sort of mechanical output. We've gone over the ones that you receive at 5th level, because there's prerequisites for some of them. All of them have a level prerequisite. You have to be level 5 in order to have this special facility, or level 9, or level 13, or level 17. Now, the interesting thing is, right at level 5, character level 5, each PC in the party can have 2 special facilities. At level 9, they can have 4. Level 13, 5. Level 17, 6. Now, you can always switch your like facilities out. Like you can replace one special facility with a different special facility when you level up. Same way as like the way bards do with spells.
Right.
These additions have the in-game benefits. So these are the special facilities that we're going to be talking about today. They have the prerequisites. 1 or more hirelings comes with each special facility, more if it says otherwise. They're the ones who are doing most of the work, the upkeep, the maintenance, basic things around the study, the armory, the barracks, whatever special facility you're upgrading. And the facility pays their salary, so you don't have to work in extra costs involved into that. It's just it's all rolled in, which is nice. Just as a refresher, all special facilities have a specific Bastion order that you can issue.
Mhm.
The way Bastion orders work is it's usually most of them are like 7 days. So you're issuing this order, and then 7 days you would issue another order and stuff like that. And they are as follows, pretty self-explanatory. And each special facility goes into greater detail of what that means for that special facility.
Right.
So it's like, but we have craft, empower, harvest, maintain, which is mainly maintain is like the Bastion order equivalent of dodge, where it's
Yeah.
like if you don't have anything better to do, maintain. Recruit, research, and trade. And so
Yeah.
we have a couple to go through. As we go along the way, we'll talk about what that would look like, different ways you could use some role play and some world building to make it more interesting and fun. Bastions are really interesting. Obviously, I haven't used the specific mechanics for Bastions in a game for
Right.
several reasons. Number one, it feels like just a lot of note keeping.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm already of the mind of like the players are strong enough. We don't need to give them that much more. And 2024 was like, hold my beer. We're going to give the players everything. Number three, I already give players so much when it comes to magic items and different things
Mhm.
and opportunities to do the majority of these things that I kind of feel like in my particular games that are already established, it's pretty superfluous. Now, if I was going to do a campaign that had bastions in them and that was
Right.
going to be a part of the game, it would handle how I do some things differently. Right? If it's
Oh yeah,
taking
for
your
sure.
hireling 7 days to get 3 pieces of information about some kind of lore, right? Then
Mhm.
it's like, okay, 7 days to get that information. Interesting. That's going to change how I do timelines for a lot of things. The same with
Yeah.
like, how strict are we getting about crafting? Are
Right.
we sticking really close to how the book says these things cost when it comes to magic items and powerful
Mhm.
things? Because according to the book, a scroll that's like 8th level, that's like a 20,000 gold scroll,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like, how strict are we getting? And then so that's going to flavor a lot of things. That's how I feel about Bastions. What
Mhm.
about you, Taylor? How do you feel about Bastions if you're the DM in a game kind of thing?
I think that a lot of some of the shenanigans that we do, because what you had said earlier about them being kind of superfluous in our own home games that have already been established. Like, I would not allow certain things. Like, we have a ship in our home game that we send out to do basically the trade order now, where
Yeah.
it will go out and do stuff, and then when it comes back, we get money. So we kind of already have stuff like that built into our games. So if I'm doing a campaign where the Bastion is part of that, I would figure out a way to get the players, if they want to do this kind of shenanigan, they're going to have to find a way to work it into their Bastion. They're going to have to make space for it, especially
Mm-hmm.
with the fact that everybody gets two freaking things at level freaking 5, man. A
Yeah.
four-person party, that's 8 rooms.
That's 8 different
That's
Bastion
eight,
orders
right.
that are
And then you get
being
up to level
given. Yeah.
9 and everybody gets 4. So that's freaking 16 rooms
16.
now.
Yeah. It does get
So
crazy.
it does get pretty crazy. There would be a designated, I think, we would need to designate a Bastion keeper. That's not
Yeah, for
me because
sure. With
I'm
like a
not keeping
whole
like
Google
I have.
Sheets
Yeah, 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 yeah.
spreadsheet, which is like a little annoying.
Hmm.
But like it depends on the setting. It depends on the
I would,
game.
but I think it would be fun though because I think that that opens up a lot of time for downtime.
Hmm.
That tends to get overlooked in a campaign where the players are wanting to move, 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 move. Well, now we have built-in 7-day intervals
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can use for whatever reason to do downtime stuff.
True.
You
No, it's
know,
very true. That's what I mean. I think it needs
I
to
think
be
it would
worked
slow my
in.
games down a lot. It would slow the
Oh
pace of
yeah.
of everything down so much, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think, like I
Yeah.
said, I do think that downtime is something that gets criminally overlooked sometimes.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
that people these things that you're talking about of writing scrolls and doing this other stuff. If the campaign is moving so fast, you just decide you're not going to do that because by the time I'm done with this freaking scroll, the bad guy's going to have already won.
Hmm.
You know?
No, I get that. Yeah, it's interesting. It does change how you handle timelines in general because, like, in our home game, we're almost spending every day doing things like
Yeah,
in-game days.
it's been
So
like a
like
month. The whole
if it's like
campaign.
it's
It's
been
been like
way
three
longer than a
months. Yeah,
month
yeah, yeah.
because of just the
Oh
boat
yeah,
trip was
just the
almost a
boat
month.
trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably been like a total of 6 months, the
Yeah.
entire campaign.
Hmm.
But that's like saying something, right? So that's 6 months. You figure that's what, 36 weeks, give or take.
Hmm.
And so that means, or yeah, 36
20,
weeks or less. And
24.
so, right, 36 or less, which would include 34, some
So
would say.
I would, yes.
So
Somewhere around there.
somewhere around there. And the point is,
Yes. Sorry.
that isn't that many. I mean, granted, you weren't level 5 for all of that, so you wouldn't even have had
Right.
special facilities for a good chunk. But regardless,
Right.
it is like so many extra things of just like,
Hmm.
okay, then this other thing is going on. Okay, we need to keep track of the days now to know when the 7-day thing is up, to know when the order is over. I think
Right.
that it does, again, this totally depends on the session, the
Hmm.
table, how you want to run that game. It can slow things down in a way that you don't like or in a way that you like, depending.
Right. Right.
It also can add a level of bookkeeping that you either don't like or can obviously delegate to a player, and maybe it's not that big of a deal. But there are some games where I would just straight up be like, we're not doing Bastions.
Yeah.
It's too much bookkeeping. We're playing a 6 session game
Hmm.
that we're not
Oh
doing
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Bastions.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like there's so
Bastions are
many
definitely
instances.
a campaign on like long campaign only type of
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I could see myself maybe doing one thing with Bastions in my life, and then I don't see my. This is only speaking for me and the styles of games I want to play from here on
Right.
out.
Right.
I don't see myself using Bastions, but that's just because I want to do way faster paced stuff.
Right.
And I don't want to have there be weeks and weeks and weeks of things. Or if I do, I'm going to do time jumps, in which case
Right.
it's a little annoying to be like, okay, well, if we're doing a 6 month time jump, then that's 17 Bastion orders that I get to do. And that means, and it's like, okay, what are
Yeah.
we fucking doing? So yeah, it's just like, it's very interesting because I like the Bastion addition to
Hmm.
2024. And yet I'm still like it's very interesting because I'm just like, oh, I like this. Some of these are good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
really cool. This could be fun. And then also simultaneously like, but I'm not going to use them.
But I mean, this is cool for somebody. No.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I truly recognize that this is dope for certain stories, certain tables,
Yeah.
certain campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just not some of the ones I personally want to do. I think a lot of that has to do with we're at level 15 of a 1 to 20 campaign.
Uh-huh.
My ADHD is on fire. I simply will not do another long campaign
Mm.
unless the stars align in such a way where it genuinely makes sense. I could see myself doing a ton of short campaigns, but I'm at the
Right.
point now where like our home group, we are so lucky to have that consistency of the scheduling and everything that once this campaign is wrapped up, first I would like to throw it over to the players to let you guys be DMs for a little bit if you are
Mm.
interested in that, you know, and I know that some of our players are. Then after that, I'm running short things. It's going to be like the way I handle the actual plays. It's going to
Right.
be 8 sessions max. And that's just so that our home group can experience different settings, different systems, totally different TTRPGs,
Yeah.
different characters. And we could do, because there's so many times where I'm like, fuck, I want to play Morkborg with our home group, but
Right.
I don't want to push this campaign much longer. We've already been playing it for 5 years.
Right.
Like, as much fun as I love these characters, I love our setting. Our version of Faerun is my favorite. I'm willing to accept my bias on that, but like, I just, yeah,
yeah.
that's how I feel. But that's just
Fair
me,
enough.
and that's super
All right, well, let's
personal
get
to
into
like.
some of these. We've been
We
talking
simply
for half
must.
an hour, and we have
We simply
not
must.
gotten into any one single
24
facility.
minutes. Let's get into it,
It's less
Taylor.
than 36. It's less than 36.
Kick us off with our first
All right.
special facility of level 9.
All right, so first special facility, we are looking at the gaming hall. This
Yahtzee.
little casino action going on. It's got 4 hirelings with it, and it does the trade order, which for this facility means the facility's hirelings turn the gaming hall into a gambling den for 7 days, and then at the end of the 7th day, you roll a D100 and you get money. If you get 1 to 50, it's 1d6 times 10, and basically it goes up from there, with the max being 10d6.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's 10d6 times 10 gold for 7 days.
Sick.
That's rad. But yeah, so that's the gaming hall.
Pretty basic, but I like this one. It's very fun.
I like this one too. It's a very much a RP. What does your casino look like? What does your gambling
What
den
games
look
are
like?
being
You're
played
right,
there?
exactly. I think that this is a huge like world building or just kind of party building exercise of what does your casino look like?
Absolutely. It is really fun because you could do this in so many ways, because it is very like you're just rolling a D100, consulting the table. How much money did you guys make? So it could literally be anything.
Yeah.
You could have there be like kind of quote unquote more normal games like roulette, craps, blackjack, card games, whatever, right? But you could also be like, during those 7 days, we have a huge boxing match and people bet, like sports betting. You could have that happen because there's nothing in here that would tell you otherwise, right? It's just you're making money from gambling. How that gambling looks is totally up to you. If you guys want to have artificers doing robot wars, battle bots,
rad. Yeah,
that's sick.
That would be rad. There's a part of me that has one of the things is just betting on how many times a dude can bounce a ping pong ball on a paddle, and everybody just standing there. Yeah!
I just rewatched, and it doesn't age well, but I just rewatched Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, baby. The movie is still funny, but God, there are so many scenes where I was like, yikes.
Yeah.
But anyway, another idea for a gambling thing is putting a guy on a really tall pole. He has to stand there for however many days. The people in the audience get spitballs. And they can shoot these spitballs at them, try and get them to knock their balance off. Yeah, you really could have a lot of fun with this. You could have the party come in and participate, and then like you could go into more depth about what the games are and how those games work, because you could just go on Google and find a bunch of card and dice games that are designed for D&D, right? Like Gambit of Ord, Dragon Chess. Anybody?
Dragon Chess? Hello.
Have you heard of it?
Break out those gaming sets, people.
Exactly. If you have gaming set proficiencies, this is your moment.
This is
it is really fun thinking about it.
Would you allow like any kind of variations on this? Like if say it is a proficiency type of deal, would you do that? Would you tweak this in any way? As far as
I don't know if I would be unless that player is being the dealer for the full 7 days.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then yes, I would allow there to be a change. You make more money, you have a greater chance, whatever. Maybe I just changed the scale of the 1d100 of the table. I just changed the scale a little bit. The money stays the same, but it's like, you know, it's 85 to 100 is the 10d6.
Gotcha.
Or something like that. But that I'm just going knee-jerk reaction based on your question. That's how I think I would handle it.
Mhm.
Because truly, it's like the hirelings are the ones who are the dealers. You being
Right.
good at games
Doesn't really.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we could do a whole like training
Unless you're
montage, I
putting
guess,
it. Yeah.
of you
Unless you're
teaching
putting
the
yourself in that thing for the whole. Like
exactly.
if you
That's
have
what I
nothing else
think.
going on, the party's doing another whatever. We're doing a week of downtime. Okay, well, I'm gonna hang out in the gambling den
Yeah.
and run things there.
Casinos are so fun to put in your games.
Yeah.
They're awesome. It just gives you something else to do. I mean, because it's really just like a tavern, but now
Mhm.
there's games.
Mhm.
So there's stakes because what you can do as a DM, this doesn't necessarily work for the Bastion thing. But I mean, you could do this. It would just be like a flavor on top of it. But
Right.
like have an NPC instead of betting money, they bet information or access to information.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Mhm.
I'll tell you where the dragon is if you win this hand.
Right.
But if you lose this hand, I'm gone, dude.
Right.
Find your own fucking information. And then it's like, oh shit, okay, now we're playing. Now the stakes are high. So there's cool things you could do with this, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But I love the gaming hall. I was low-key a little surprised to see it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, interesting, cool. Okay, sick. I like that. It
Yeah.
does also bring in the idea of like, where is your bastion? Right? Because you're
Yeah.
opening it up to the public to come in.
Right. Right. Right.
So presumably it needs to be somewhat close to civilization or people. I've talked to a lot of people because when I brought up bastions, I was like, bastions, are people doing these? What are you? And so many people commented about how they make their bastions moving. Like their bastion is on a giant
Oh.
airship or their
Okay. Right. Right.
bastion
Right.
has wheels or some shit. Like it's, I don't
Mhm.
know. A lot of people liked the idea of your bastion being mobile. Maybe not Bastion in a 2024 specific rules manner,
Right.
but when I brought up the idea of the players having a headquarters, they
Right.
liked the idea of it being mobile. And I was
Mhm.
like, that is really fun. I do love that so much. I do
I
think
feel
it
like
kind of
that
makes
breaks a
it
lot of
breaks a
stuff.
lot of things, but it is very cool. I think
Mhm.
if you separate it from 2024 Bastion rules and just you're
Right.
using Bastion like colloquially, like
Right.
headquarters, then it's
Right.
very cool.
Mhm.
You know, that's
Yeah.
sick to have
Absolutely.
your home base just kind of on wheels or like it's moving somehow. It's built on the back of a massive
Little
monster or animal.
spider
Like
legs.
it's fucking Howl's Moving Castle. Like that's
Yeah.
sick as hell. But if it has all these roomy rooms and
Yeah.
an
No, you're
entire
not gonna.
greenhouse and garden, then now what
Absolutely
are we
not.
doing? So, but anyway, getting into the
I
next
think.
one.
Oh, so actually, I thought of a fun fix for that.
Okay.
It can move, but you have to give up two whole bastion actions for it to get up, move, and replant, and then everybody
Oh,
has to re-secure everything.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that there you go. Yeah, it takes a lot of manpower, the
Mhm.
hirelings, to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to stick with 2024 Bastion stuff, I like that a lot. Okay, sick. Our next special facility is the greenhouse. It is roomy. You get one hireling, and it is using the harvest order. Now, before we even get into the harvest order, first order of business is it grows something called fruit of restoration. Now, in this greenhouse, you got one tree. This one particular tree, it grows 3 magical fruit. These magical fruit, once you pick them, they only last for 24 hours. It will rot after that and be completely unusable.
Okay.
If eaten, it is like lesser restoration is cast upon you.
Dang.
Now, the tree cannot be transplanted. You can't bring this tree anywhere. It stays in your fucking greenhouse
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
There are more
That's.
rules that kind of just I simplified it a little bit, but
Uh-huh.
they go into great detail of being like you can't build up a ton of fruit. You get 3 fruit and that's it. They by the time they regrow on the
Mhm.
tree, those
The other
fruit that
ones are
you picked are
rotten. Yeah.
dead. Like there's no way to amass fruit. The most you will ever have is 3
Right.
and 24 hours.
Mhm.
So there's no way to game this
Right.
other
Right.
than every person in the party growing having a greenhouse as their
Right.
own special facility,
Right.
and then you could
Right.
get 3 per person. But regardless, lesser restoration also at ninth level, and I
It's
like that they
helpful,
did
but
this
it's
because
yeah.
it's gonna get crazy fast if you don't put limiters on it, stuff like
Right.
this.
Right.
But at ninth level, lesser restoration isn't like that insane. Still nice to have, still a good thing. It's still a net benefit, but it's
Hmm.
not like the craziest thing in the universe. If it was
Yeah.
greater restoration, it would be the craziest thing in the universe, but it's not. It's lesser restoration. So
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
the only thing lesser that I really like are flamingos. Lesser flamingos are amazing. Don't let anyone tell you different. And I can tell you have questions about that, and I'm going to move right past it. And we're moving on to the harvest order. Now, when you issue the harvest order, you can choose between 2 things: healing herbs or poison. Taylor, I can tell you're looking up flamingos and you're not paying attention. I see you Googling some stuff. There's just, it's one of those weird naming conventions where, there's like multiple kinds of animals. And for
Uh-huh.
some reason, scientists are like, these are lesser flamingos, these are greater flamingos. And it's like, what a dickhead. Why are you guys assholes? It's just like a weird naming thing. Anyway, so harvest healing herbs takes 7 days, doesn't cost you any money. The hireling creates a greater potion of healing.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
That's rad, actually.
That's pretty
7 days,
good.
no money, greater potion of healing. Because the actual crafting time on a greater healing potion is crazy. It's like 3 months or some
I
shit. It's
I don't know if it is. I think it might be pretty similar
is
actually,
it?
because I know that creating a common potion of healing costs you half the cost, so 25 gold, and it takes you 8 straight hours of work.
Oh, okay.
That's a common. But again, we're going to do an episode pretty soon all on crafting. I want to do an entire episode on crafting. I want to do an entire episode on dungeons. I want to do an entire episode on dragons because the name of the game is Dungeons and Dragons, and we haven't done an episode completely on dragons. And so I'm
Right.
like, why not? Also, we're 100 plus episodes in, and I'm starting to run out of ideas. So that's why you emailing us, folks, gang, we need your help. Hit us up with some questions. Anyway, so that's just the healing herbs one. So when you give this harvest order, you get to choose. You can choose that, or you can choose harvest poison. Same timeline, same lack of cost. So 7 days, no money. Now the hireling is getting a vial's worth of a poison.
Right.
Now they've done a cool thing where I think this is just a net improvement between 2014 and 2024 is that they've brought in a couple more types of poisons. I think we've all been there in D&D specifically where like
Oh, yeah.
5e, I should say. I can't speak to older editions where it was like, hey, you're poisoned. And every once in a while, a
Here's the
monster would
poison
have a unique
condition. Yeah.
poison where it would say, while you're poisoned in this way, you
Mhm.
also blah, 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 blah. But like the players, not getting a ton of poisons. It was like you coat
Right.
your weapon in poison. It does maybe poison damage and they could be poisoned. And that was it. Now we've got a whole list of different kinds of poisons. Specifically, when it comes to the greenhouse, you can harvest a vial's worth of either assassin's blood, malice, pale tincture, or truth serum.
Dang.
Now, those 4 poisons, if you want to learn about what they do and how they work and the DCs involved and everything like that, it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide under that particular chapter.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll do an episode all on that. Who knows? But that is what you're
Simply,
getting with this greenhouse.
yeah.
So you're talking about an herb master, essentially, some kind of gardener who is either making potions, greater healing potions, which is 4d4 plus 4, or poisons. Either way, stockpiling some cool equipment
Yeah.
for the party when they return to the Bastion.
Hell yeah.
So pretty sick.
Love that. Absolutely
Pretty sick.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Greenhouse is cool. I like it a lot. I think it's very fun. I like that it gives you the option of either because sometimes you could have players who like based on their builds, they're like, I don't think I would use poison. a ton, just like
Right.
thematically.
Right.
And then there are other characters who are like, I absolutely would coat my daggers with poison. Assassin's blood, what is that? I want one.
I want
You
one.
know, like I
Go for
get it. So I think it's
There's
really
one of
cool. I
them
do
just
like that.
called Malice. I like that. Let me just put that on.
Yeah, I think I've had Malice in Baldur's Gate 3 too. I think
Oh,
I
yeah?
remember getting a vial of Malice or something like that. Yeah, the name is so familiar, but again, we won't be going over the super specifics of the poisons in this episode, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned, gang. Moving on to our next room here, our next special facility. We got the laboratory. One hireling, and it does the craft order. You can either craft alchemist supplies, which your hireling can make anything that can be made with alchemist supplies using the rules in the player's handbook. This is just, I don't even know what alchemy stuff is, and I did not look it up. I didn't do my research. I'm sorry, gang. Um, but yeah, so anything you would use alchemist supplies for, Justin looks like they're snagging a book. The other thing you can do is, hey, more poisons. Your hirelings can also craft a poison. And it is going to be some different ones though. Burnt othar fumes, essence of ether, or torpor. It takes 7 days, and you pay half of the cost for poison. It's not like the um greenhouse where you get it for free. Still costs the half of what it would normally cost to do it on your own with a poisoner's kit.
Yeah. And honestly, there isn't a ton in the Dungeon Master's Guide because it also said go to chapter 7 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. But that is
Right.
just where all the magic items are and treasure.
Okay.
So it's talking about a lot of different things in here. It talks about crafting magic items, but it doesn't say super specifically what is being created via alchemist supplies.
Right.
At least I can't find anything super specifically.
So
Random magic items, armaments,
if it would make
tables,
sense to be made with
relics,
alchemist supplies,
implements.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they
This is
in the
the
player's
weird
handbook they
ambiguity
also
of 5th edition,
I know,
2024.
and in the player's handbook I think it also goes into a slightly greater detail. I just don't know where my PHP is right now. I think I brought it downstairs because my character just leveled up.
I would just remembered I don't have 2024 PHP. But anyway, yeah. So
they give you a list of different things
Mhm.
in the PHP during the crafting sections as well as the tools sections of the book where it will go over an example list of things that alchemist supplies can make. Same with all the tool sets. We'll be like, oh, leather workers, here's some stuff you can make. So I think that's what they're referring to. So it's just like anything that an alchemist supply kit can normally make, your hireling can do those things. And here's how, that a lot, we'll see that a lot throughout this, specifically special 9. I started to notice it. There's a lot of times where, and I mentioned it a couple of times, we'll see throughout here, but like the hireling is assumed to be proficient with like any tool set that's required to use for making a magic item or a mundane item or something like that, as well as the skills involved. So like it happens in the next one, the sacristy. Well, you'll see it'll say like the hireling is assumed to be proficient in arcana for the sake of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So it's very like, I like that, the idea that you're not just hireling randos. It's like, no. The hireling who works in the laboratory, they're a scientist. Like
that's a scientist. That's a chemist.
It's Dexter. You're not hiring Dee Dee, you're hiring Dexter because it's the laboratory. That's how I always know how to spell laboratory the right way. Is because of the way that Dexter used to say laboratory. Whereas restaurant, who the fuck knows where those letters go? I do know because I've made it a point of knowing.
There's a stray U somewhere in there.
Yeah, there is, dude. You would think it would be restaurant. You think it would be at the end, A-U-N-T. It's not. It's restaurant. It's very strange.
Yep. Anyway.
So
speaking of weird words.
Oh yeah, the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, wish me luck. Uh, oof, boy. Okay, sacristy. I think
Sure. That's what it looks like.
sacristy. So here we do have a prerequisite outside of just being level 9. You need whichever PC is choosing this as their thing. That PC has to have the ability to use a holy symbol or druidic focus as their spellcasting focus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just as the ability to use doesn't mean that your character has to be using a holy symbol at all
Right.
times. Like, because there's so many different ways to where it's like, oh, you have the ability now to use your sword as your holy symbol. And so it's like, it just means you can. So it
Right.
probably means that you have some levels in cleric, paladin, druid, or the like, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's roomy space. You get one hireling, and we're going back to the craft order. A lot of craft orders across
Mhm.
this particular set of special facilities. In the sacristy, first off, when you're crafting or you're giving that craft order, you have two choices. First is holy water. 7 days, no money. The hireling makes a flask of holy water. Now, the interesting thing, and I think this is hilarious because it just makes me, Justin, think a lot about organized religion because you can pay, because again, it costs nothing across that 7 days to make a flask,
Right.
but you can pay money to make it more powerful. Now, the most you can pay is 500 gold,
Okay.
but each 100 gold increment increases the damage dealt from that holy water by a d8. So
That's crazy.
100 gold, it's an extra d8. 200 gold, 2d8, all the way up to the maximum 500 gold, 5d8 of extra damage dealt by this holy water when you use it on a person that presumably is getting hurt by holy water.
Right.
Because my understanding is that holy water doesn't hurt everybody. It's
I don't
just
think so.
hurting, heathens and fucking that joke. I'm gonna end that joke there and let's move on.
Fae and stuff.
Ghosts, yeah, like undead mostly.
Undead stuff.
Undead, maybe fiends.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I don't even know if Fae get hurt by holy water. I think it's just fiends and undead are the big ones, like the ones that take extra damage from your divine smite.
Right.
So it's usually fiends and undead.
Undead and fiends, yeah.
Now, if you're not interested in holy water, you also can craft a magic item, specifically a relic. Again, in the Dungeon Master's Guide, in the treasure section, chapter 7, after it lists all of the magic items out, Rope of Eyes, Rod of Rulership, I'm going through all of them, Staff of the Python, a talking doll, that's scary. Then it gets into these like random magic item tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
That way, and I love these just as a DM to be like,
yeah,
well, I don't fucking know. But we've all been there where in 2014, the random magic tables, they did it by rarity. So there was like random magic item table A. And for that one, it was like you're getting a potion, you're getting a fucking maybe a bag of holding was like the most exciting thing.
Right.
And then slowly they went all the way up to like magic item table like J or something like that, where now you're getting legendary items. This separates it a little differently. It separates them by like common, uncommon, all the way up to very rare, and even legendary. But it's also separating them by like type of magic item. So there's Arcana, includes everything from Baba Yaga's dancing broom to a scroll of protection, potion of flying, rod of security. But then there's armaments, armor +1, dwarven plate, the Holy Avenger, right? Weapons, armor.
Yeah.
Then there's implements, the vaguest of words, but you're getting cloak of protection.
Things.
You're getting bag of devouring, a carpet of flying. Yeah, iron stone of awareness, portable hole. So it's just stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get relics.
Okay.
Now, relics, I suppose, have a touch of divinity about them. Although some of these could easily fit into any other category. Armor +3 is a relic. Holy Avenger. Some of them do bypass, like they're
Right.
like the Holy Avenger is considered a relic and an armament because
Right.
it's a weapon, but also it's a Holy Avenger. So like
Right.
kind of makes sense because you also have things like Staff of the Adder, Staff of the Python, which was also under Arcana. So some
Mhm.
of them do like they're multiple things,
Gotcha.
and I respect that. But this is where you can get an idea for your relics
Okay.
because when you're crafting this magic item, similar to the way that some magic items were able to be crafted in the level 5 special facilities, and we had an issue during that session about implements and armaments and
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
is this? Here, when you issue that particular craft order, the hireling can make a common or an uncommon magic item relic
Mhm.
from the tables in chapter 7. Your hireling is proficient in Arcana in whichever tool the item needs. So if the item needs the hireling to be good at leatherwork, then they're good at leatherwork. If the item needs
Right.
them to be good at glass blowing, then they're good at glass blowing. And I like that
Mhm.
because it's not going to hamstring you and kind of be a dick about it. You know, where
Right.
it's like, well, no, is your hireling good at? It's like, no, why are they working in my fucking sacristy if they're not good at this stuff?
Right.
They
Right.
lied on their application apparently. um so if the item needs spell casting though,
Mhm.
then it's got to be the player.
Okay.
Now the way I read this, of course I didn't write it word for word the way that it's written in the book, but I can go back and find the actual specific word for word.
Right.
The way I read this a little bit is that it's, if I'm my character's name is Johan. If
Okay.
I'm Johan, I'm the PC. I'm the one who put the sacristy into my part of the Bastion, right? This is one of my level 9 special facilities.
Right.
I'm the one issuing the order for my hireling to do this crafting. If the thing needs a spell, I need to be able to cast that spell. If one of my fellow party members can cast the spell, but I cannot, I'm not necessarily saying 100% it's one or the other, but it's just an interesting thing to discuss because it's kind of like it says in the book. Now I'm reading word for word.
Okay.
If the item allows its user to cast any spells from it, you must craft the item yourself. The facility's hireling can assist, and you must have all those spells prepared every day you spend crafting the item. The way I read that, I have to do it. If
Yeah.
Taylor's character can cast shield, but I can't, then I can't
Doesn't
create
matter.
a magic item that can make shield. Taylor can,
Right.
and he can do it at his sacristy or whatever the fuck.
So
That's how I read it. But
okay.
unless Taylor wants to work in my sacristy, Taylor's character wants to work in my sacristy to work with the hireling, maybe for
Which
the
I
full time.
would, which
I
there's
might be
definitely
okay with that,
argument.
but then that means that you're maybe not able to work on something in your own Bastion.
Yeah, people for that.
You'd still issue
They're
the
just running a
orders.
gambling den. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I just have 5
That
gambling
guy with the
dens.
ping pong paddles going crazy. He's at 1,006.
The pool is huge at this point. God, that would be so funny. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I think I would make it so that, yeah, if we're gonna allow a different PC to do it, then they would have to spend the time there. But I also could see some tables being a little more strict about it.
Mhm.
But we're talking common and uncommon.
Yeah, I mean,
So what
there's
really
some
are we
really
making here?
yeah, there's some pretty cool uncommon items, but I don't know what all's on this relics table as
Relics,
far as
I could tell you right
uncommon.
now. So I'm gonna, as fast as I can, go through common and uncommon. Ready?
Oh god.
Ear
Okay.
horn of hearing, potion of healing, common, pot of awakening, ruby of the war mage, shield of expression, smoldering armor, spell scroll of a cantrip in level 1, staff of adornment, staff of flowers. Now we get into uncommon. Enspelled staff with a cantrip or a level 1 spell. That's a new 2024 thing
Okay,
where it's
I
just a
gotcha.
staff that casts a spell.
Okay.
Enspelled just means it has a spell charge in it and you can
Got
cast
it.
a spell from it.
Okay.
Kyoutman's Ointment, Mariner's Armor, Nature's Mantle, Pearl of Power, Periaptive Health, Periaptive Wound Closure, Potion of Animal Friendship, Potion of Healing Greater, Potion of Resistance, Ring of Water Walking, Sending Stones, Spell Scroll level 2 or 3, Staff of the Adder, Staff of the Python, Wand of Magic Detection, Wand of the War Mage, +1.
Nice. Okay.
So some pretty decent ones. Just being able to
Yeah.
make spell scrolls is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Sending Stones is another big one. Periaptive Wound Closure, if people have extra attunement slots, that one's
Rad.
sick as hell.
Yeah.
So some cool, it's definitely some cool
Yeah.
stuff there. The last thing that you can do with the sacristy, so that we can move on, is spell refreshment. I think this one is kind of cute and fun. If you spend a short rest in your Bastion, you regain 1 expended spell slot of 5th level or lower. You can only do this once per long rest,
Okay.
but you're spending an hour to recharge a pretty high level spell without having to use any of your other classes' abilities. So, like, even a
Right.
wizard could benefit from this, assuming that wizard also had the ability to use a holy symbol or a druidic focus, because you have to
Right.
do that too. But still really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Still really nice.
All right.
Now, would you keep this benefit, the spending a short rest in the Bastion? I'm the one. Johan has the sacristy. Does Johan recharge at 5th level or lower and no one else does unless they also have sacristies? Or does this benefit apply to everybody in the party? Obviously, you could do it either way.
Yeah,
It's
I
one of
don't
those
think
things where
it's too game
table by
breaking to
table.
allow everybody to do it. I don't think it's too game breaking to give it to the whole party. I think it's
I think it, yeah, if as soon as the party says, oh, well, let's just make a bunch of sacristies then,
right.
then I'm going to be like,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you've
Yeah.
abused my generosity and now you're being jerks.
Right.
No, thank you. But yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
Move on to the next one. The next one being the Scriptorium.
Sick.
Another single hireling room with the craft order. First thing you can do is get the Scriptorium to craft a book replica. It just makes a copy of a non-magical book. Takes 7 days, and you have to give it a blank book. You have to provide the blank book. You could also get them to craft a spell scroll. It makes a spell scroll containing a cleric or wizard spell of 3rd level or lower. It still follows all the same rules as far as time and cost for spell scroll creation. It's just you don't have to do it. They can do it. Last one is you can craft paperwork. Your hireling can create up to 50 copies of a pamphlet, flyer, or other loose leaf paper product. It takes 7 days. It costs 1 gold per copy. And then, for no additional cost or time, the hireling can also distribute this paper to 1 or more locations within 50 miles of your bastion. That's really fun. I love that bit.
This last one.
I love that bit so much.
It's so interesting. And this type of ability is rife with possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like the opportunities that single little ability presents is huge. Yeah. The idea that you could be like, hey guys, watch out. There's a dangerous person around. Watch out. There's doppelgangers afoot or something like that. Like you could warn people. You could hire things. You could spread information, spread disinformation if you wanted to, or misinformation. There's so much you can do with this that it's so fun. Because you could also do dumb things like birthday party invitations or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so fun.
Dragon's
I love
Bane is
this.
a dumb and just pasted over every city for 50 miles.
So cool, dude. It's
so
fun.
Funny.
And if Dragon's Bane was still around at that time, then you could even progress the story folder. Your hireling gets captured. They were spreading propaganda that the crown sees as wrong. They've captured your hireling. Now you have to go plead their case to try and get them released or break them out or something like that, Oh, so fucking cool.
So much fun.
The book replica one I think is really interesting too. Just like the idea of copying books. I think that's really powerful actually. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that requires a little bit of like role play and like story building. But I could see that being really helpful, actually, especially when something like you guys have found like entire ciphers where it was like a journal from a bad guy, but it was written in cipher and you only had one copy of it. So you had to either physically write the entire fucking thing, which takes so long, or so it's just like, I like that one a lot. Spell scrolls across the border. That's good. That's a net good. That the fact that you don't have to do it. Now you do have to pay the cost depending on the level of spell and stuff, but all that's in the PHB, and we'll cover that in the crafting episode.
Yep.
But the paperwork one, I fucking love that one. That one's so fun. Okay.
A lot of fun.
I like this one a lot too, because it's silly and it's fun. Next up, we have the stables. Now, these are roomy. One hireling to look after all these horses. And the order is trade.
Okay.
So now this is one of those unique locations where you can have more than one. And now the interesting thing too is like, I don't know if they mean can have more than one. Does that mean the entire Bastion is allowed, quote unquote, allowed to have more than one stable? Or are we talking like your PC when you're choosing special facilities? I'm allowed however many at level 9. What did we say? 5? 4? 4. I'm allowed 4. 2 of them are allowed to be stables. Is it just meaning me, or is it meaning the whole group? I think it's just meaning me.
Just one person, the singular.
That's what I think too. But it's just one of those tiny examples of like they could have written that explicitly so that we don't have to kind of assume. But that's a question for another day. As somebody who has designed a couple of games at this point, I do recognize how difficult and challenging it is to cover every single potential example or like potential scenario. Like it's impossible to cover everything. So I do get it. I want it to be known that when it comes to the human creators of D&D, I don't want to put too much, give them too much shit. But when you're a gigantic company like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, I am giving you a little bit more shit than I would give to a tinier publisher.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
That's also
Eat the rich. But first, we need more stables.
Yep.
So you can have more than one stable. Each stable comes with, this is another one that's written a little interestingly where I was like, here's what I think they mean. You can have a riding horse. I just knocked over something. It's not a big deal. You can either have a riding horse. You see the red light left because that fell. A riding horse or a camel. And then also, you get to choose 2 ponies or 2 mules. It's important to know that a pony is not just a young horse. Some people might mistake that. It is a totally different animal, horse-like, but small. Now, the way that it writes it is each stable you add to your Bastion comes with 1 riding horse or camel and 2 ponies or mules. No commas what's to speak of in that sentence. So the way I read that is riding horse or camel, 2 ponies, 2 mules.
Yes.
And so you're choosing, but you get both.
You get
but
both,
like it's a choice, right? So it's
so each one is a choice: horse or camel, ponies or mules.
That's how I read it too.
Yes.
Again, it's a little one where you're kind of like, I think that's what they mean. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
But there's a world where they meant something different and they just fucking forgot a comma, but I doubt it. But that's another thing. Now, the stable can house 3 large animals. And in this context, when it comes to stables, 2 medium creatures equals 1 large creature. Now, that doesn't necessarily track for like everything across the board, but for the most part, that's what we can use as to decide how many creatures we can put in this stable. Now, after a beast stays for 2 weeks, 14 days in the stables, any animal handling check towards them is at advantage.
Okay.
I like that a lot. They're domesticated.
I do too. Yeah.
They're kind of, hey, we're used to people at this point. And I like that. 2 weeks is fast, but assuming the hireling is doing their job and constantly reinforcing that kind of stuff. So I like that a lot. Now we get into the trade order. because all of that is just like, it just happens. But
Right.
now we get the trade. You can buy or sell one or more mounts at normal cost, keeping the ones that you buy in your stables. It takes 7 days. The DM decides which animals are available for purchase. So the DM can decide, hey guys, there's an elephant at the fucking auction. And then, here's how much it would cost.
Right.
Now, when it comes to buying, you're always just market value. There's nothing in here to suggest that you can haggle. It's just market value. But when you're selling, now at level 9, any animal or mount that you sell, 20% profit. Then at 13th level, it becomes a 50% profit. You just become better at it. Your hireling becomes more like trustworthy and like has more like name recognition, where it's like, oh, this person's selling the mule, then we know they're good. They've been at it for this long. You get some kind of skin in the game. 13th level, it's 50%. 17th level, 100% profit. So just double whatever it is. So this can turn into a massive money-making scheme, which is kind of all it does. It doesn't say, according to this, obviously you can do a ton of things with mounts. You can obviously have the players take those mounts or something like that. But like, there's nothing in here written about what the mounts do. They don't make your defender stronger or something like that.
Right.
There's nothing else written in there other than just trading them. Of course, you can let the party take the mounts and use them, but that's just, flavor on top of everything else.
Right.
Now you can enlarge this facility, and we've talked about this in the past when it came to the barracks. I think in the last episode was a good example of this. You can expand it to vast, and that would cost you 2,000 gold. And now you can house 6 large animals instead of 3.
Okay.
So now you can just get more things. That way, sometimes enlarging is such a nice feature because it doesn't require you to use another one of your special facility slots to get another stable.
Right.
Now you can still just have one stable, but it's twice the size. So that's really nice. But yeah, that's the stable.
That's awesome.
There we go.
Moving on to our next one, we are looking at a teleportation circle.
Whoa.
Hell yeah. Single hireling, and it's got the recruit order. Basically what that means is for this room, you recruit a spellcaster. This is your hireling extends an invitation to a friendly NPC spellcaster. You roll a die. If the number's odd, they decline. If it's even, the person shows up via the teleportation circle, and while they're there, you can ask them to cast one wizard spell of 4th level or lower. If you're 17th level, they can do 8th level spells or lower. And then if the spell has any material components, they come out of your pocket. The spellcaster will stay for 14 days or until you have them cast a spell. If for whatever reason your bastion comes under attack during this period, they say, you know what, too risky, I'm out, and they leave.
Dip. Emphasis on glass cannon.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Peace.
I like that a lot. This one's fun.
So I like this. So this is a designated teleportation circle now in your base
Pretty
without
much.
having to spend the whole year or whatever it takes of casting the spell.
100%. Because it does say, I don't include this in our outline because it would just be like, what are we doing? Just rereading the book.
Right.
But like, it does say under teleportation circle, inscribed on the floor of this room is a permanent teleportation circle created by the teleportation circle spell. Right. So yeah, it is permanent. So now not only does this give you this recruiting opportunity, which is dope.
Right.
I like this one a lot. But also
teleportation circle.
It gives you a teleportation circle in your bastion.
Yeah.
As long as one party member has this, it's dope as fuck. This should absolutely be a discussion of at the table of like, okay, which one of us is getting the teleportation circle? Because somebody should have it.
Right.
At least one of us should have this as an item in our in our thing, right? Like, it's so good. I love you're just extending an invitation out there. And I think it's so fun. Now, it does very specifically say a friendly NPC spellcaster.
Right.
How much, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being just the worst DM ever, how much of a dick do you think I'd be if I did put a spy in there? The spellcaster that you guys have recruited, he'll cast a spell for you. But also he's getting a little intel. He's secretly a spy. He's a little bit on the inside.
I would do it with like a hidden roll, maybe. Like if they roll a 1 or like an odd number where it says that he's supposed to decline. Like, okay, well, why don't you just roll again? And if that second roll is a even number, the person that shows up is not the person who was originally invited, but it's somebody who like
A doppelganger, disguised self. Yeah. I think that could be really interesting. I wouldn't do it often. It would be like a once in a blue moon kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also would have a lot of fun with this. Just having somebody show up and be like, all right, I'm here. Now, what would you like me to do? Oh, cast. You want me to just put a shield spell into your Iron Stone? All right. All right, I'm gone. It was a pleasure. It just leaves. It's hilarious. It's so funny. This idea you could as a DM to make things simple for yourself, depending on how much you're role playing the Bastion, you could make the friendly spellcaster the same one that just keeps reappearing. Being like, I'm so glad you guys hired me again. It's impossible finding work out there. It's just like really funny. I like that a lot. I like this one. Other than there's the obvious benefit of having a teleportation circle in your Bastion is wildly helpful. However, I like it outside of that.
Oh yeah.
I think this is really interesting.
I like the spellcaster, like the recruiting of the spellcaster and potentially getting some higher level spells that you wouldn't otherwise get access to.
Yeah.
Or like say you
I
need
do
like a
this.
dream spell or something like that to get in contact with somebody, or I don't know that. I don't think Dream
is level 5, but I get what you're saying though, for sure. Because then at 17th level, 8th level and below, there's some really powerful stuff. Scrying, like there's so many ways that you can use this to help the party in so many big ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I love this one. This one is one of my favorites. But let's keep it moving.
Let's go.
So after the teleportation circle, we have the theater.
The theater.
Very good. Yes. Statler and Waldorf in the stands just being like, what's going on here? Just the two old men from Muppets.
I didn't even know her. Ooh.
That was really good. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, we got to have them there. That's so funny. Okay. The theater is an interesting one. I do like this one a lot, but this one does kind of require a little help from everybody, is the way that I read it. So it's vast, 4 hirelings, and it uses the Empower order.
Nice.
Now, when you use this Empower order, what you're empowering is a theatrical event. This theatrical event takes 14 days of prep and then leads to 7 days of performances of this production. Now, the performances can continue indefinitely. You can just keep having this performance take place until a new production comes underway. So until you want to change the production, you're done with Hamlet, you want to move on to King's Lear, then you have to do the 14 days again and blah, blah, blah. Now, you or another character. So this is one of the few times that it really does pull in the whole party, which I love.
Right.
You or another character can contribute in the following ways. You can become a composer or a writer. So you can write the script, you can compose the music, something like that. That'll take you 14 days. So this implies a level of downtime that you're at the Bastion helping, or you're putting in the work somehow, some way.
Right.
There is the conductor or the director. So you're either conducting the orchestra, or you're directing the actual play. you're there for the entirety of the production.
Yeah.
So if the play goes on for 7 days, you're there for 7 days, right? Or you can be a performer. So for here, you need to be there for the entire rehearsal period, which it doesn't necessarily specify how much of the 14 days is rehearsal versus just literally setting up the thing.
Right.
Obviously, just play with that by ear, go with the DM's discretion. But and then you're there for one or more performances. You don't have to be there for every single performance. Often there are understudies. One of the hirelings can be your understudy and take up the performance when you leave. But at the end of the rehearsal period, which I take to mean those 14 days of prep,
I'd also take it to mean the 14 days.
Everyone who helped has to make a DC 15 performance check.
Okay.
If more people succeed than fail, so that's all you need is just you need more people to hit 15 or higher than fail, then each of you receive a theater die. But Justin, what's a theater die? Great question. Well, it starts at a D6.
Okay.
The way this dice works is any D20 test that you take, you roll the D20, you can see the number, you don't know if it succeeded or failed, technically.
Right.
You might be able to ascertain in your brain, like, it's a 19. But, every once in a while you get a 17, you're like, fuck, is that enough? At this level, like, is that enough for the saving throw of this beast? Who knows? Just like almost like a bardic inspiration, this theater die is like an inspiration die, kind of. You just get to add this to that check, essentially. Any D20 test. So it can be a saving throw, an attack roll, anything, right? That uses a D20. And you just add it to that. Boom. And that's it. That's what it does. It's just literally a little dice that you can just have it. Now you can only have one theater die at a time.
Right.
So they never stack, but they never run out either.
In
theory, you could just hold on to that theater die until you really, really, really need it. They don't burn out like a bardic inspiration, at least in 2024, lasts an hour. So something to consider. Now at level 13, it becomes a D8. At level 17, it becomes a D10. So it's not the most ever, but it is just like a cool little extra thing.
It's rad. Yeah. And also, again, the role play implications of this are endless.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun to put on a little play. If this were to happen in our home game, I think I would because it wouldn't happen so often, but on the episodes or the sessions where it was like, okay, we're putting on our little play, I think I would actually find like a play. I'm looking around my room. I have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. And I think I have a Brett Favre fucking carded as the bookmark. That's insane. I was a big Brett Favre fan until he took money away from a fucking cancer thing to pay for his daughter's. Anyway. But I think I would find a scene in a play and I would actually have you guys act it out. I think that would be really fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I give you guys the script of Elf, for example.
What?
I think that could be really, really fun. But that's the theater.
That's the theater, baby. That's awesome. All right. So the next area I think is also super rad. It is the training area. It's a 4 hireling situation. It's got the Empower order. Hold on.
Nice.
Sorry, the dog went crazy downstairs. I'm trying to record it. Anyway.
You're good.
Anyway, okay. So it's got the Empower order. You can have more than one. It looks like however you want. But here's where it gets really, really cool. You choose a trainer of some sort, and they give you extra abilities. So if you choose the battle expert trainer, you can take a reaction from an unarmed hit and reduce the damage by a D4. Pretty sweet. You could do a skills expert that will give you proficiency in acrobatics, athletics, performance, sleight of hand, or stealth. The tools expert will give you proficiency in a tool set. The unarmed combat expert allows you to add an extra D4 of bludgeoning damage when you hit with an unarmed strike. The weapon expert gives you proficiency with the weapon, and if you already have proficiency, you get the mastery that goes along with it. I really like that one. You must train 8 hours a day for 7 days, and then after you are completed with the training, the benefit that you gain lasts 7 days.
Yeah. I like how they're pretty explicit with it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the ability you get. Here's how long it lasts.
Right.
They're very clear. You have to be there for 7 days, 8 hours a day, and it lasts for 7 days. Here's what it is. I like that. I like this one a lot. It's really interesting and fun to me. It also offers a lot of role play and character building opportunities. And I like the idea of you're choosing, it's the trainer that is different, you know? I like that a lot. That it's like not just a jack of all trades trainer who can train you in a bunch of different things. It's like, no. You're changing the teacher completely.
Right.
I like that.
I do too.
They
I
offer.
think I would make a little bit of tweaks as far as the must train. The benefit only lasts 7 days. I would allow after a certain number of sessions. I think maybe doing like a roll to try to get whatever that skill is, like the weapon mastery or the tool proficiency or something along those lines. If you do this training a certain number of times back to back to back to back to back, maybe you get that ability for good.
Yeah,
Because it makes sense that if you're using this same skill over and over
10,000
and over
hours.
again, right. Eventually, you're going to just learn it. You're going to just know how to do it.
I definitely agree with that. They say here that your training area might be an open courtyard, a gymnasium, a music or dance hall, or a cleverly built gauntlet of traps and hazards. It might contain inanimate targets for weapon practice, padded mats, or other equipment. I like that.
I'm imagining the training room in Kung Fu Panda with all the swinging chains and the the dummies and the little like spinny dummies. Yeah.
Do love that. And our final special facility for level 9 is the trophy room.
Interesting.
Now, the trophy room is very interesting because the name of it is crazy. But I mean, the way the book describes it is a room that houses a collection of mementos, such as weapons from old battles, mounted heads of slain creatures, trinkets plucked from dungeons and ruins, and trophies passed down from ancestors. But I guess they were just trying to figure out how to make this work. But anyway, the trophy room, it's roomy. It has one hireling, and the order is research. Now, the research options, you have two options of things to research. You can research lore, which is very similar to some things that we've discussed in the level 5 one, where you can research the topic of your choice. It takes 7 days. You tell them any legend, a kind of creature, a famous object. The more specific, I suppose, you can get with your specifics, because obviously the DM is figuring all of this stuff out of like which information to give you and stuff.
Right.
But after 7 days, that hireling can eventually share with you whenever you guys re-meet 3 pieces of accurate information that was previously unknown to you.
Okay.
Really helpful, really good stuff. Depends on the urgency of getting this research, but I like it.
I love scripted lore dumps.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely really, really fun. Can be really, really helpful. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, it's just funny to me to be in a room with like mounted heads and be like, that's a deer. And so obviously you caught a deer at some point, or did you buy this mounted head? You know nothing of deers. You need this hireling to research deers, but you have a hanging head of one. So haven't you already bested a deer? There's parts of it that are interesting in my head.
Right. Yeah.
Like, because there are other things that are so similar to this in the level 5 one, where I can't remember if it was the arcane room or the wizard's tower or the library or research.
I think it was the library.
Yeah,
that
there's like
gives you
arcane
the
study
research.
and
Yeah.
library and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
one of them did something really similar to this, but in that it made sense because you're in a library. There's tons of books.
Right.
This one, it feels a little more interesting to me where I'm like, so you're just in a room full of mementos and trophies, and you're going, oh, that's right. Remember that trip where you guys killed that basilisk? Basilisks can turn people to stone. Okay, heads up. Like it just is very funny to
Right.
me that
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like
It's like
these are trophies.
we've
Surely
already
you've already
beaten that.
learned some of this information.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just from a thematic standpoint,
Mhm.
rules is written, it is what it is. But it's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing that you can research is called a trinket trophy. Now, for this one, you're having this is so funny. It's giving like Scrooge McDuck. Your trophy room is so vast, so
Right.
full of treasures and mementos and slain mounted heads
I
and
just
stuff
need one
that you
more.
can't possibly just like find the quick one that you're looking for. It's
Right.
going to take a whole hireling in 7 days to find some shit. So
Like
the
Warehouse
trinket
13.
trophy,
There's just racks and
yeah,
racks of stuff.
yours the hireling is searching for a specific trinket that might be of use to you.
Mm,
It's going to take 7 days. Roll any dice
never.
on
It's
an
never
odd.
someplace easy to find.
On odd, you find nothing.
Damn.
On an even, you find a magic item.
All right.
Roll on the implements common table in chapter 7.
Oh boy.
So I've been to chapter 7. I've
Mhm.
been to the common implements table.
Mhm.
I can tell you, first of all, if we're rolling on the table, how can we assure that it'll actually be of use to the party?
Right.
I don't like that. I think that if I were having players do this and they're spending the 7 days to have a hireling look throughout the thing, I would still do
Mhm.
the roll a die, odds or evens. Okay,
Right.
evens. Yeah, you found something. I think I would just go through this list
Hmm.
and pick one and be
I think
like,
so too.
this, I think this would be useful to you because I, the DM, I know what's coming,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? Like, and all of these are common magic items, right? So it's like Heward's handy spice pouch. It's like a bag of holding, but it holds seasonings for your food to taste good. Oh, you guys are fighting a dragon? That's not useful? Weird. Weird that that's not useful in this ice dragon. Weird. Whereas maybe one of these other ones, Horn of Silent Alarm, a little bit more
Right.
helpful because then the person can go forward and say, "Hey, when I blow the silent alarm, I found the fucking dragon."
Right.
Only the party hears the alarm. The dragon doesn't hear the alarm. It's set up that way. It's a silent alarm. Only
Right.
those who you want to hear it will hear it, even though that's a common magic item and later on in the game will become completely useless. For now, pretty useful.
Yeah.
Right? A mystery key? A mystery key? What is that? It's you just trying
a
out
key.
doors,
It's just
rolling
a
a
key.
D100, seeing if it fits. It's ridiculous. So
Mhm.
that's what I would say. When it
Okay.
comes to the trophy room and the trinket trophy, I
Yeah.
would be a little bit more specific about what magic item you're giving to the party because the idea that they would use the 7 days, use all of this time. First of all, they have only a 50-50 shot that they even find anything.
Right. Right.
At that point, spend the extra 2 seconds that it takes to go through the little list of like 20
Find something
objects.
that's
Here.
actually
There's not that many. It's
good
like
for your
20 to 30 objects. And find the one that kind of makes sense. Because none of them are that helpful.
Right.
Granted, they do get to keep this magic item. There's nothing
Mhm.
that says that they get rid of it or it eventually
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
explodes or something. So like I get that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But these are so many interesting things. We've talked about how bastions aren't going to necessarily make sense for every single D&D campaign, but for some they can. And they can be so awesome and add so much to making it truly feel lived in and also just adding on so many opportunities for downtime or for even exploring these NPCs. Like you could do a little mini adventure of a bunch where the party gets to play as hirelings as the Bastion
Yeah.
comes under attack. Like you can have them play as the defenders, play as the little spellcaster dude who dips the hell out as soon as danger strikes. Ooh, What's that, danger? All right. Well, that's my cue. Good luck. I love that.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing that I take away from this, and Taylor, feel free to chime in on this because I'm curious where you're going to come at this particular angle, is in the specifically the stables. Horses, camels, ponies, mules. No cows, no dairy, no big milk. That's a tragedy.
Yeah,
Big milk. Thank you so much
that's
for
all we can
sponsoring
get
this
into this
episode.
time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at So You Want to Be a DM at gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us. And check out the Patreon, the Twitch, and the merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya!
Hey gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nub Muffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvi, the eternal library where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. And there's Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Want to Be a DM.